Shoot, okay.
The more you try to keep me down and keep my head above the water, you can never hold me down. The more you try to block me out, that's where I kick the wall down. You can never hold me back. The more you try to put me out, the more I'll be blazing, it's too hot. The more you try to put me in the dirt, increase my work, the expert. You see the hunger in the eyes of a survivor. Swallowed my pride, washed down with some saliva. Reinvented my whole life, mental MacGyver. One door shut, another open up, wider. Listen, battle drums in the distance.
Yo, welcome everybody back to another episode of Pinecase Podcast. It's Tuesday evening, like usual, 8 p.m. Thank you for tuning in on the East Coast and the West Coast. There's been lots happening in our little community lately. And so if you guys are at the event on the weekend supporting our lovely programmer, thank you so much for everyone who jumped on stage and hit the skate park. I've seen all of the beautiful content. And so I'm excited to go back and check out what everybody was about. But it was amazing to see all those West Coast rappers hanging out and doing their thing in support of our beautiful calico hunt. Tonight, we are hanging out with Boston's Bay Holla. Girl, listen, I don't even know where to start with the list of amazing things that you are not only capable of doing, but have already accomplished in such a short period of time. I've been in the streets a little bit for a hot second, most of my childhood. And the story is heartbreaking. And then went to school and all these things. And I'm listening to you say them and I'm like, yeah, that's not an easy situation to navigate. And so to do all of that and then turn it around and give back to the community in a way that's not only empowering, but beautiful and also projecting our culture and uplifting our culture is like, look. Girl, when I started saying that, I was like, I've been in the streets, but I've actually been in the streets and I know how easy it is to stay down there and just hang out. That's where the money's at, right? That's where everything is. And it comes in quick, like I can get a brick of cheese literally for half the price because somebody's going to be rolling through really quickly, but you're actually stacking cheddar out there for everybody, not just yourself. So I want to just say thank you so much for coming and hanging out and talking to us about all these amazing projects that you're doing. Bay Holla, founder of BARZ CYPHA. Girl, why are you highlighting the women? Let's talk about this because not everybody's out here doing that right now.
I'm starting to see it more, but I'm also seeing it with horrible motives. And I see people, doing, and I see it nationally, and I see some really powerful movements happening nationally, and I'm very excited about that. And then I see locally. And I'm happy that people are doing things and putting things together, but we have to do things with being genuine people. Yeah. And I'm just gonna be straight up. I've been a female MC for a very long time. February 2025, I went into the hospital and I was hospitalized for 31 days on a breathing machine. And I had to have an intense surgery, which was, I almost lost my life several times for something that just happened. Never even heard of it, never even thought about it. Something called the pneumothorax. So for all you guys that are listening, you want to Google it, you want to check it out and see what it is. And during that time in the hospital, I had a lot of time to think, not being able to breathe, knowing I use my voice as power, put me in a really tough spot. So when I got home and I had to learn how to breathe again on my own and kind of walk again a little bit, it was a lot of different things that transpired and took place with me. But during the midst of that, I thought about my music and where I'm going and what do I stand for. And I always stood alone because Bay Hall is a one-woman team, but I wanted to do something different. So I reached out to a couple of female MCs that I've known, that I knew that deserved a little bit, more shine than what they've already established for themselves. And me being a pioneer in the city and a voice in New England, and I had a chance to travel and be around all these different people doing these different things. I'm somebody with a good belt of credibility. I'm like, let me put this put this project together and just put it out there and just see the response that we get. And we got an amazing response. And from there I realized, I'm like, wow, I can bring these women together through music. And then I went ahead and collaborated with the Mel King Institution, who now has the Mel King breakfast that happens once a month. And they allowed me to come into a space, the Piano Factory, which somebody of my caliber would have never got access to. So shout out to Heather Cook. Heather Cook, the South End Brunch Club, they helped me down. They allowed BARZ CYPHA to partner up with them and actually do a healing event for women, for all of us. And we did everything. Bless Robinson, she was able to do like this sound bowl thing. We had Mel B come in and do the amazing. I'm getting the chills now as I sit here and I say this, because Mel B is an amazing woman. Her voice, she's a powerful speaker, an international powerful speaker, and they brought her in the room as a surprise to
Wow.
us. And the energy was just phenomenal. We took the food from the event that we had at the brunch, along with donated clothes that all of us brought, because I told all the girls to bring a bag or whatever it is that they didn't like or they didn't want anymore. And let's go out and not only hand out clothes, but let's hand out some food and let's do it together. And it showed a different side, like not that we just rap together, but we can empower each other and empower the community. So seeing that transitioned me into creating BARZ Empowerment LLC. And now we're just going from there. And I'm continuing to put ciphers together. I want to bring people from different walks of life, white, black, you know, recovery, gay, whatever, everything that people try to stereotype. I'm putting all these things in one bucket and showing
Hmm.
people that we can be one accord
Yeah.
together. So, and again, like I said, I'm a survivor. I lost my niece to homicide. I'm never jealous. I'm never bothered. There's nothing. I've done a lot in my life. I bought a home. You know what I mean? I've been to school. I drive a nice car. You know what I mean? So I've accomplished these things. I'm trying to get spiritually enriched. That's where I'm trying to gain. So I'm hoping that I can continue to be an example. I can continue to be a leader, and I also can continue to be active in this space.
Yeah, it's super important. I think that the healing, the Eastern medicine piece, the sound bowls, and even like Reiki, it has never been a part of the conversation. And we have all these tools, as a musician and as an artist, we have these other tools that we can incorporate into it, um, subliminally or intentionally. And it's neat to know that there's people that look and sound and act like you and me, that make it okay to go, because I was like, I'm not going into that place. That place is not for me. I don't know what those crystals do or are for. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
they are for us. That's exactly who it's for. It's for people that are interested in healing themselves in a different way, that maybe isn't Western medicine, that maybe isn't a prescription, that because you can get locked up in anxiety meds for this, and then you got side effects from that and all of this other stuff. But it's such an important piece to be able to come together in that space with each other and exercise our rights to just be human,
Mm-hmm.
and just sit down. And like, before the show we were talking about drinking water and all these little moving pieces that we do for ourselves, but sometimes we just need a reminder from one person to get back to that place in our lives. And so to have you, who it's an extremely impressive thing to be able to not only like do it for yourself, but also create a platform for other women to then come along. Well, humans, it's not even just women, it's human beings. Because listen, you come like a few deep of all sorts and shapes, sizes, and
Mm-hmm.
colors. So we don't have to even go there, but it's like when you're able to like open that door and introduce them to other things that aren't just the stereotypical things that maybe they do, or not even stereotypical, but the things that are fundamentally hip hop. And
Mm-hmm.
then to be able to do them for yourselves, but also then to put it into your music. Like, there is this space now where you can incorporate some of that stuff straight into the music. And so not only are people using what you make
Mm-hmm.
straight across as the entertainment purpose, but then they also get to hit 770 or 432, whatever frequency that you feel you need to add into that for them. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an important thing to be teaching us, because it's easy to get caught up in the things that don't necessarily matter, right? The mundane and like the superficial all those things. I mean, we could spend $1 million and not really actually get ahead at all and still be sitting on the porch stressed out waiting for
Yep.
whatever is about
Yep.
to happen, you know. So
And I refuse to let that be a part of my avenue or part of my journey in the direction of where I'm going. I'm with you. Like, let's not worry about things that we don't even need to worry about. Like, we need, like you said, let's focus on drinking water and really making things healthy for us and in the inside. I think we're so caught up in a materialistic world of everything, of money, of I gotta have this nicest car to keep up with them. I gotta make all this money. I gotta get a major record deal. Some people don't even care about regular life right now. And everything is completely focused on music. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I love music. I love to record. I love writing and rapping and this, that, and the third and performing. But at the same time, I'm a grown, responsible woman that need to make sure that I have a decent income coming in to be able to fund the things that I need to fund. I need to
yeah,
make sure that I'm in a space that I'm able to understand when my mental health is not in a good bunch. I need, it's different things that we need to do in this music. Will at times you can find yourself so focused and so driven on it that nothing else matters. You don't care who you hurt in the run. You don't care who you're rude to or what direction you're going or who you're bogarting out the way. And it's all because you're chasing this avenue of music that you can get to the end of that ave and there's nothing there. And
nothing.
there's nothing there and it didn't work out for you. So where does that put you? That puts you at the end and spiritually disconnected from the people that loved you, that you booted off as you did this along that avenue. And
Yeah.
I've learned that. That's why I used to be one of those people who used to like hold grudges and stuff like that. And I was talking to one of my artists on a platform about this, and it's so unhealthy. And I can look back now and say, wow, I didn't really just start getting healthy until like a couple of years ago because I was one of those people who allowed those anchors to be on me. Holding
Mhm.
grudges, that's an anchor that's on you. Like you said earlier in our conversation, you was like, well, just whatever, just let it go and just leave it there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just leave it there. And that's the thing. People don't know how to just leave it there. And I know, and I can truthfully, honestly say that because I was one of those people. Like I said,
Yeah.
right now, this conversation is nothing but confirmation in the direction that I'm going. Because I had no idea that we was even going to just build like this. I'm thinking and this is why this is a part. This is how I know what's happening is supposed to be happening.
Yeah, exactly. This is synchronicities. I always, whenever they happen, I'm like, ah, yep, in the right direction. This is the way. Of course,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like some people are like, oh, that's signage. I'm like, no, it's synchronicities, man. It's like I'm not as overly religious person, but I'm extremely spiritual, and I truly believe that things are lined up in a certain way for it to be easier. Because these are not easy things. These are tough things. It's not
Hmm.
comfortable going against like what everybody else is doing, and it's not comfortable to have uncomfortable conversations with people that you love. It's not comfortable. So when things line up and make it just a little bit easier, you're like, yeah, this is the one, this is the way, this is the right
Hmm.
direction, this is what it's going to be about. But yeah, it isn't easy. The I can it's interesting because when you talk about like just leaving it there, and I talked about just leaving it there, it's like, how do we learn to be near each other and be able to put the information out there and then not allow there to be time to even have a response? It's like, I don't know, even like practicing with a friend. It's like, okay, I'm gonna give me like 20 minutes and I'm just gonna like verbally dump everything. And then you give me 20, we'll just go back and forth, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes
Hmm.
until it becomes the norm, right? Because we don't always need necessarily rescuing, or we don't always need like
I think we're
a,
on to a challenge here. I think
yeah,
we
I
need to
think
set up a
so.
challenge. I think
Yeah.
this is, I think we can, I think we're on to something because I think people need to see this by example.
Mm-hmm.
See this by example and like you say, start to normalize it.
Yeah.
And yeah, now you got me thinking like, okay, let's do this is we're gonna call this the 20-minute dump
Yeah,
or the 10-minute dump or the
exactly.
5-minute dump or whatever. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you dump that
Yeah.
off, let me dump mines off, and then we just leave it here. Or even if it could be something between you and I. Like a disagreement of some sort. Like, all right, you say your piece, I'm going to say my piece. We're not doing this back and forth, because if we was in the courtroom and we only had a chance to for you to do your closing and me to do my closing, let's do closings and then let's leave it here.
Yeah.
Let's leave it here. That's it. Whether we stay on the direction of staying together or we stay on the direction of departing, let's leave it there.
Yeah.
And I think that would be so much more, we would be able to do so much more as a people if that was the case. And I really like that. And yeah, you got me thinking about something.
You know what it is? So there's a position that I hold in certain people's lives, and they've been a part of my life now long enough. But what kept, I guess, like, I don't want to rant here, but okay. So you know how, everyone kind of has a position in everybody's life. We have, even if you just look at it as a family, it's like we have kids, parents, aunts and uncles, grandmas, grandpas, and then we have like the neighbors who also hold a little bit of that part, because maybe they hang out all the time and they get a little bit of, like, not respect, but they get a little bit of, like, privilege to have an opinion about how things operate in your household. Not really, but we allow that to happen, right? So it's like, if if part of who I started noticing I became as I got older, unapologetically, was to say those things and then come back to the same feeling. Like, my default is always going to be love. So even if I say those things that are super uncomfortable right now, that your parents aren't going to say to you because they don't want this big blowout, like, I'm going to say those things, and then we're going to just get on with cooking dinner and move on, because we still have shit to do today. Like, we don't have time to sit here and, like, fuss
dwell.
about, yeah, but I'm not going to allow you to, whatever it is, disrupt the peace like that, or you're not welcome to come in and tear through everybody else's emotions like that and it be okay. It's not cool. And so, like, that, maybe that's an auntie. I feel like that's probably an auntie, right? Because, like, everybody's got, like, an auntie who's like, what we're not gonna do here is tear up this whole house while your mom sits over there upset about what you didn't do at school today. Yeah, I feel like it's an auntie. We need to unapologetically be aunties again. Like, make aunties great again, because I think that would solve a lot of the problem. Like, that's that attitude. It's like, you're allowed to say whatever you're going to say, and she will listen, and then she'll leave it there, and then in return she's also going to tell you what isn't about to happen right now, but that you're about to, like, call her when you need her to pick you up from school or whatever. That you can say that. Like, I feel like that's the relationship that we're missing. And what's wild is, as I'm walking through this, I'm like, this goes back to the Black entertainment industry tearing that piece up for us, because women have two positions, which is what, like, this is literally how this conversation started, which is, like, you said it, they either shake their ass or they're punching each other in the face. Like, there isn't a happy medium, and that's that third piece. It's that, like,
and the women that are constructive and they're doing something, they wouldn't dare give them that amount of shine. They'll constantly rerun the same fights from them girls and those shows over and over and over. But like you said, let Angela Bassett get ready to do something, or or it be some sort of book club from Maya Angelou, and got a couple of celebrities or something bringing in young girls from communities or schools or something. That's going to flash once or twice, but the positive and the productive is never pushed. They're going to continue in us as women. We got to get wiser. Us as a minority, we got to get wiser. Like, how are you allowing this? Like, and I understand, but what it is that we're so stuck on this. It's about me. It's about me and what I'm getting for me and my money for me, and no longer about us. And this is what makes us a lose situation, because we got so many people who are only focused on them personally, and don't even, and half of these people are parents. They're parents. They're not even thinking about the future of their kids. They're thinking about the money that they're getting right now and the items that they can buy their kids, and boom, 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 boom. And where is that going to lead this little girl or this little boy when all of this becomes a wrap?
I watched this mom the other day. She had her phone and she said, whenever I have this new thing I do, whenever my son or my daughter, whenever runs over, I won't put anybody on blast, but every time they run over to me, I make a point of putting my phone down, so that way they see my face.
Good.
I mean, good, but also, like, you have to be intentional about that. like, Wait, what?
I know. Oh, right. As you get deep into that, now like this is what I have to, right, exactly.
Hmm. Yeah, because my kid, I mean, for me, like, and I can only speak on me, but like, for me, maybe they see me like that, but mostly they don't. And that's not an art form. That's not me
Nope.
like, oh, I need to put my phone down. That's like, again, back to like, there is too much shit to do in a day to be focused on this thing. And it might not
Yep.
work out in the end anyways. So how can I put all the value on this thing?
That
You know?
and that's exactly, and this is what I tell all these young girls. So for
Yeah,
instance, one of my other artists, she's doing phenomenal. She's in school. She's on a
beautiful.
trail with her music. Her attitude has changed. She's not as hard as she normally. She's growing. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited
Beautiful.
about that. That means something is clicking somewhere with people.
Yeah.
It's time, and this is the energy that we want to spread as a domino effect. It's cool to do our music. It's cool. But don't forget, anything can happen with your voice, with anything. Nobody's promised anything. So you gotta keep your eyes on the prize and still continue to try to do something productive for yourself. Don't just throw yourself into this field and say this is all I got.
Mm.
No. Find something special about yourself. Go put yourself in a different environment and figure a new piece of you out that you may have never been aware of because you've been trapped in this little block.
Like a
No.
actual block. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
and
sometimes it takes to just get into a different atmosphere. That's why I always tell anybody I talk to, they be like, "Oh, you always at the park and you go over there and you just lay out with a blanket. Like you're from the hood. You shouldn't be doing stuff like." I'm
why?
in a different space. I'm in a different space with myself. I'm getting in touch with Mother Nature and the earth and the energy. That's what I'm getting in touch with. I'm not worrying, like you said, just leaving things. I'm not carrying all that worry with me. Go to the park. I gotta worry. Is the man gonna be looking at me? Is somebody gonna try to steal this? Is somebody gonna just let it go? And you feel so much freer. And I had a friend, recently who talked to me a lot over the past couple of months about just being free, just kind of like letting things go and just kind of being free. So I'm taking all these different pieces that I have learned and became enriched from different people that have been within my life, and I'm piecing those together for the benefit of me, being free, getting in touch with myself, understanding humility, understanding growth, eating better, trying to speak better, have different kind of conversations. So I'm just trying to lead by example. Just
Well,
really
and
lead by example.
you already have, I mean, you already have most of the pieces now because you've been hungry enough to not worry about what you have in your bag, right? It's like when you've been hungry enough, you don't worry about what you're going to eat when you go out. You just whatever's up, that'll work, right? Whatever the club has, whatever your friends have, whatever, like, you know what I mean? If it's a granola bar in your bag, like you're not worried about what you can and cannot eat because you've been hungry enough at some point, right? So you let
Mm-hmm.
that go. In that same way, like that's how we need to come at other obstacles in our life. Like that's how we're going to get there, right? Like it's like, how do we get to this other place of peace? And how do we actually physically let go of those things? And it's like the same way that we stopped worrying about what we were going to eat when we went out because we were just so hungry that we knew we would eat anything.
Mm-hmm.
The hood actually gave us all the right pointers. It just pushed us in the with the wrong intention.
Yep.
It taught us all this amazing stuff. It Listen, you won't catch me fighting with my siblings because I don't got none left. Like,
Excuse me.
you know what I mean? I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
you're not, it's just not going to happen. And I know that, like, we talked long enough at the beginning, and I know that you feel the same way. You've lost enough people now to not
Mm-hmm.
be. So, okay, so then how do we turn that into like leaving that piece also, right? Like, how do we leave that? Like, there's got to be enough hurt that eventually we get to a point where it's just like, nah, it's not worth it's not worth that feeling anymore.
Mm-mm.
I feel like poverty and all that stuff gave us the right tools to get to this place. And with the education, then you just navigate it. There is so many
Absolutely.
business models that you could apply to daily life that work. Earl's, the restaurant, they will not hire the kitchen manager unless you worked in the dish pit. or recruit, they call it recruit. They will not hire you as a manager unless you've started at the very bottom. And it's like, so if you're going to take that same fundamental and apply it to music, why do musicians or artists think that they're going to be able to like be productive if they haven't also done,
Mm-hmm.
known how to do tickets, maybe done sound, like hung out with the lighting guy for a little bit, know what you want this to look like for yourself when you're on stage? Like, do you have this skill and is it really great? Yeah, amazing. You
Mm-hmm.
can rap, you can sing, you can this. But when you actually are aware of all the other moving pieces and all the other people's jobs, then you can actually not only demand more from them and make sure that their level of expertise is where it needs to be because you know what it is that you're looking at, but then you're
Mm-hmm.
also capable when somebody doesn't show up, because somebody always doesn't show up. And so I don't know why I don't know why as musicians, especially in hip hop, like everyone picks one thing and then they kind of branch out once they've done that one thing well, but it doesn't seem like there's a ton of wiggle room in making all of it happen,
Yeah.
you know. But you clearly you're already doing that though. Because you've
Mm-hmm.
already created these spaces, you know what I mean? So then, okay, so then to highlight these women, to show them, like, what are some of the things that you're doing to show them that it's more than just one thing?
So again, like I said, I've been putting on different brunches,
Yeah.
just having them come be a part of it. Not only brunches, we have different conversations on different platforms together. Just our private conversations one on one, not just hip hop events. Some of the events I try to include as many as different artists as I can on different platforms, different shows, different arenas, different locations. Yeah, just really just me too, just leading by example, leading by example. Now I'm a part of the committee for the Your Music Awards. That's
Yeah.
major. That's now really sending out
Yeah.
music with a message. So just me, I'm the new host for the Boston Freedom Rally this year, September 18th and 19th. So I'm now getting in different rooms. I just hosted, an R&B group's party. They have a new record, album, whatever it is coming out. So I'm putting myself in different areas, different platforms. I've hosted for um a variety of different things. So from everything, from representing the kids to, speaking in reference to, survivorship for people who have lost, because a lot of our young people are dealing with it every single day. Back when my niece passed away, she was one of the first females to be for this to happen to in the city of where we're from. Now females getting killed is the normal now. We allowed that to become our normal.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
crazy. And this is why we got to step up, step back, and get
Mm.
things to another level. So I'm doing a lot. And like I said, I'm leading by example. I'm not, being who I am. I've been bullied, I've been threatened, I've been all types of stuff. And I'm still keeping BARZ CYPHA rolling and showing positivity and, saying great things and being great. And I think by doing that, some people are realizing like it's nothing. I just left it there. That's not even bothering me anymore. Bay's still working. She's has a goal. She's focused. She's doing what needs to be done. Me doing this petty stuff. Where the hell is this gonna get me? That
Nowhere.
girl's going. She's somewhere every time you turn around. So I think also just being, ignoring and being a leader and showing them, like, especially being younger. Our younger people, I was young before, so I know. I was 29, 30 years old outside, ready to
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, turned
Yeah.
up. I was it, But I also had sisters. I had leaders. I had role models. I had life coaches that was in my life that was like, we're not gonna see you go to prison. And a lot of our young people lack that now. So if I could be a fulfillment in that space, whether they say I'm their big sister, I'm like their mother, I'm just a voice that they could talk to, I would like to be that if I could. So
Yeah.
you don't feel like you don't got nobody? Because a lot of these young people don't.
Yeah. What unapologetically. Like, you don't even have to ask, like, if I could, because you all like that's you just show up and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep saying it louder and louder and louder and louder, because it's just it has to start drowning out all the nonsense at some point. Like, it has to start drowning out. I seen like this like super hot chick the other day, like doing a naloxone commercial, and I was like, oh shit, that's a good idea. Like, how did I miss that opportunity? Like, we talked about doing that a million times, and I'm like, that's wild. Like, naloxone was not even a thing that was talked about when I was in school. So it's not even like, I don't
Hmm.
even know why this is part of like the culture now, but it is. And it's like, okay, but why does that work? Because it's palatable and it looks and sounds
Oh,
just like the
sorry.
people that you're sending it
Hmm.
to, right? And as long
Hmm.
as you look and sound like them, then yeah, like, sky's the limit at this point, because I don't know. I don't know how to convince young girls that, fighting and shaking isn't the
Well,
way,
I would
but
love to
it
be,
gets
I know we're
tapped
getting
out.
close and stuff to time,
Yeah.
but I would definitely say I would love to be able to come back onto the show and possibly bring one of my bar cipher girls on, and
Hmm.
let's have another conversation, and add in a
Yeah.
different, atmosphere of especially an age bracket. It's always good to kind of get their input and stuff like that. Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all
It's been
good.
a very
Listen,
long day for me. My day started this morning at 6 a.m., which has to
damn.
start again at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, we got a big, I didn't realize our time difference neither.
Massive. Yeah, it does. It's not
Girl, it's the
helpful. Yeah.
LA time difference. I was like, wait, what? 3 hours? I'm like, wait a second here. Yeah, so that through I don't know, I was under the impression I was like 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Then when I was like, oh shit, I'm like 10. Oh, gotta get everything together. And then today has just been a shit show with
Yeah.
other things going on.
Life.
But
Yeah.
like you said, this new thing we
Life.
doing, we just
Mhm.
leaving it right there.
That's where it belongs. Yeah, because we don't have time for any of that stuff. Like, we have too much.
No.
There's too much happening. Like, look, I don't have to tell you what you already know that you're doing in a day, but I do know that you don't have time for any of this stuff. We have so much space that we have to fill up with the things that actually matter. And nutrition
Mhm.
and hydration and sleep need to be on that. Period. Like, it's not even an option. Um, as a mental health professional, and I maybe don't preach it enough, it's like those three things will actually help you in your recovery. You don't have to be recovering crackhead. I
Well,
just mean
girl,
like
I didn't eat
recovering from
tonight.
life.
Look, I still
Yeah.
didn't eat my dinner tonight. It's in there. I'm like, oh, I gotta eat a little something before I go to bed.
Yes.
But so I
Yes.
know that's one of the things. But I just had so
Yes.
much going on. But you're absolutely right. Like what
Yes.
we eat, how we think, like all of that's really important. Stop
Yeah.
putting all this junk and stuff in us. Yeah.
It's wild. Like, when I started watching, well, not I work with schizophrenics, but when I started watching like people navigate recovery, and again, I don't mean like drugs, I mean whatever it is that, people recover from.
Mm-hmm.
Life shit happens all the time, things happen. Grief is actually like one of the biggest things that people
Yeah.
tend
Mm-hmm.
to find recovery for. And it's not necessarily what the substance has done to their body, or it's actually the lack of nutrition and the lack of hydration and the lack of sleep. And that's like the one thing, like, people talk, even, and I would even argue to say, like, fetal alcohol syndrome. Now, huge, obviously, trigger warning and label all over the place, but that's another thing. It's not necessarily the alcohol that's causing side effects like that. It's actually the lack of hygiene and the lack of this and the lack of that. Now, I'm not suggesting anybody go out drink it while they're pregnant. You don't be nasty, but it's just that we actually don't realize how much hurt we're doing to our body when we're not doing this. I don't care about water. I don't go out of my way to be like, I need to do all this for myself. I don't think that I get enough sleep, and I certainly don't pay too much attention to like the things that I should, especially, at my age, our age, I don't know. But what I am finding though is that if there's going to be anything to do for yourself when you're looking at like being selfish and this kind of stuff, it's like those are the three things that we can always come back to and know that those are immediately going to fix. It fixes
Mm-hmm.
visual and audible hallucinations, it fixes anxiety, it fixes all this stuff, and it's like the thing that we overlook the absolute most, like water, sleep, food. Those are easy things.
Ugh,
Super easy
girl,
thing.
please. I need water, sleep, food, everything now. You're saying it all. I'm like, uh-huh. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we don't
yes,
have to get into all the
definitely.
particulars. Well, if you're trying to get out of here and get some sleep, like that's fine, but we can definitely set it up so that you bring,
Yeah, I
somebody
would
else
love
to
to. I
want to
would
hear.
love to.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everybody that's in the comments, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And yeah, you guys are right. Self-care, me time is on the forefront of what we all need
Hi,
to be doing
everybody.
for
I can't
ourselves.
see all the chats and everything, but thank you for everybody that, tuned in. And please, join us on this conversation. I think we're up to something. I think we came up with a couple of things. The thing, we're going to leave it there. The thing of just dump it and leave it there. And then also, just really being okay with accepting wrong or dealing with humility. So I think we got some strong pointers out of this, and I would love to be able to continue this conversation and also invite other people in just to have their input and make this an even bigger conversation, because like you said, we need to start normalizing this. So
Yeah, it's time to start normalizing, some of this ugly human stuff that we all do all the time. Like,
yeah.
yeah, don't be worried about how you show up because it doesn't actually matter all that much. Like,
Right.
you know, yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you, love. Thank you so kindly for having me. I had a
Mhm.
nice time speaking with you, and I'm very excited about doing this again. So you just let me know when you can squeeze me in, and I'll bring one of the
Yes,
girls on, and we'll just continue
yes.
to do what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Holla, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight over here at Pinecase. It's been such a pleasure. Yeah, we're excited to have you on again. I got a couple more questions for you next time, and we're definitely going to highlight some of your music because, listen, you've been at it for a minute, so there's like so much more to talk about. Founder of BARZ CYPHA, thank you for looking out for the ladies all the time, and thanks for like looking out. I was going to say for the Boston area, but it looks like you got a bigger projection than just like where you're coming from. So thank you for looking
Yeah.
out for us as a people and as a culture and as a community. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you. And yeah, we'll check you guys. I guess well, for everybody else that's in the comment section, take care of each other and stay safe. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
All righty, everybody. Have a good evening. Thank
Bye.
you.
Please stay strong. Please stay
The
strong.
further you take my rights away, I'ma run to it, refuse to hear my voice. Speak loud when I spit it, but you don't get it. You just wanna be a side critic. See somebody else showing hate in the side of the road with it. Now how would you feel standing on the sideline and watch the color of a nation deteriorate over time? The flag real high, but compassion 6 feet below. Now you're searching for that justice that decided to never show. Deny my place and back with a trace. Keep up the pace, tight lace, game face. Get back in the race. Whatever they did could never be undone. Every dark night ends with the rising of the sun. Squandered every wealth that's built from the mud. Squandered every wealth that's built from the blood. Squandered every wealth that's built in chains. Stolen from the ancestors running through my veins.
With the strength of 1,000 lion and the strength of 1,000 giant, please stay strong. Please stay strong. With the strength of 1,000 elephant and the strength of 1,000 tiger, we stay strong. We stay strong. We stay strong.
I can see, run to the light at the end of the tunnel when
We stay strong.